Hi everyone, I am Polytechnic student. Then today we are discussed about the subject is the DPM 10023 Principle of Management. That is my lovely madam name is the Madam Nuraini Binti Kamarudi. This is my team leaders. First leader is Nisha Patiban. My metric number is 06DPR20F2044. Next is my friend is second leader is the one Nurul Iza binti Wan Rahmat. Metric number is 06DPR20F2068. Then last is the last first. The third is the Durga Sundarajan. That is the 06DPR20F2073. This is our group members. Today our table contents is the first question is the importance of the staffing. Second question is the difference of selection staffing process and training staffing process. Number 3 is the performance of evaluation. Number 4 is the employee separation. Number 5 is the three methods of the decision making. Number last is the four methods of decision making techniques in an organization.
The importance of staffing. Firstly, efficient performance to other function. For efficient performance of other function of management is staffing is key. Since it can organization does not have competent personnel, then it cannot perform the function of management like planning, organizing and function properly. Secondly, effective use of technology and other resources. What is staffing and technology connection? Well, it is the instrumental in the effective utilization of the latest technology capital material. For the example, the management can ensure the right kind of personnel by performing the staffing. The development of human capital. Another function of staffing is concerned with human capital requirements. Since the management is required to determine in advance the manpower requirements, therefore it has to also train and develop the existing personal career for advancement of the company in the future. The difference between the selection staffing process and training staffing process. Selection staffing is the part of the recruiting process that deals with choosing an employee to hire from among the narrowed down list outstanding candidates. Selection can occur several times throughout the recruiting process. Continuously, training staffing process. After the selection of the employee, the important part of the program to provide training to the new employee with the various technological changes. The need for training employee is being increased to keep the employee in touch with the various new development.
defined as a formal and productive procedure to measure an employee's work and result based on their job responsibilities. An example of the performance of evaluation is attendance. It means punctuality is the one of the strongest features an employee can possess. And second is innovation and creativity. Creativity and the free exchange of ideas can only flow when employees have a healthy work environment. But interpersonal conflict and strict hierarchical work culture can hinder an employee from expressing freely. And third is leadership. Employees in managerial position are people who are always looking after their team members. They are constantly guiding other to progress and advance. And fourth is communication skills. Communication is the one of the core function of dynamic work culture. Clear communication make employees comfortable with each other, make sharing and exchanging ideas for frequent. It also bridges the gap between departments and make everyone more productive.
Other than that, we also should implement performance evaluation. By implementing performance evaluation, we could reduce the number of absenteeism, which lead to less shortage driver issue, and reduce oil pilferage, which happen due to the driver's need of quick cash. There are many types of performance appraisal methods. One of the method is behavioral checklist method. It is a rating form containing statements describing both effective and ineffective job behaviors of the drivers. By using this method, drivers' performances are evaluated based on their job result, client satisfaction, and attendance. Bonus should be given based on performance evaluation. Drivers able to earn bonuses by meeting or exceeding a variety of key performance metrics.
Created using Powtoon.
Employee separation refers to the end of employees' working relationship with a company. This can happen when an employment contract or an at-will agreement between an employer and an employee ends. While sometimes the employer decides to terminate employment, an employee may also initiate a voluntary employment separation if they wish to retire or resign. Employee separation is a sensitive issue for any organization. Usually, an employee leaves the organization after several years of service. Thus, the permanent separation of employees from an organization requires discretion, empathy, and a great deal of planning. An employee may be separate as consequence of resignation, removal, death, permanent incapacity, discharge, or retirement. The employee may also be separate due to the expiration of employment contract or as part of downsizing of workforce. Organizations should never harass the employees, especially in the case of resignation, just because they are quitting the organization. In fact, a quitting employee of organization must be seen as a potential candidate of the future for the organization and also the brand ambassador of its HR policies and practices. However, many organizations are still treating their employees as expendable resource and discharge them in an unplanned manner whenever they choose to do.
There are three conditions in decision making. First is the certainty. Certainty, a state of certainty, exists only when the managers know the available alternative as well as the condition and consequence of those actions. There is a little ambiguity and relatively low possibility of making a bad decision. It assumes that a manager has all the necessary information about the situation, and the decisions under certainly means a perfectly accurate decision will be made time after time. Of course, decision making under certain is a rare. Next is the number 2, risk. Risk, a state of the axis when the manager is aware all of the alternative but the unfair the secure consequences. The decision under risk usually involves any clear and precious goals and good information, but future outcomes of the alternatives are just no degree of certainty. A risk situation required to the use of probability estimates. The ability to estimate may be due to experience or incomplete but reliable information or intelligence. Statistically, analysis can be applied to the calculation or probability of success of the failure. Number last is the uncertainty. Uncertainty is the in today's complex environment, most significant decisions are made under a state of uncertainty, where there is no awareness of all the alternatives and also the outcomes. Whenever the no alternatives to make effective decisions, managers must require as much relevant information as possible. Next, such a decision require creativity and the willingness to take a change in the face of change uncertainties. In such situation, managers do not have enough information to calculate the probabilities and the degree of the risk. So statistically, analysis if it's one of the use has the manager need to make the certain estimation about the situation in the under to provide and a responsible framework of decision making. Innovation, judgment, and experience always play major roles in the decision making process under condition of the uncertainty. Okay, the four methods of a decision making technique in the organization, we got the four. Okay, first is the brainstorming. Brainstorming is a type of a group decision making that can be really effective when you need to precise the potential ideas and the solutions. There's always two free following structures to the decision discussion and allows the whole team an opportunity to share their ideas on how to approach a particular situation. Next is the nominal group technique. The nominal group technique is the builds on of the brainstorming discussed by including a voting process at the end. Not only does each group member cast a vote, but each person is given the opportunity to also give an explanation as to why they vote off whichever decisions where there are few different ways that you can use the nominal group technique. Okay, number third is the Delphi method. Okay, the Delphi method is a very good technique because the technique is a good option when you need to reach a group consequences of a major decision. Then the idea is when there are fewer options available, a decision is reached with much ease and with collective agreement from you and your team members. Okay, lastly is the electronic metric. Electronic metric is this technique covers the nominal group techniques and the usage of the sophisticated computer technology. The steps included in the electronic meetings are: first is the computers are installed in the meeting room. Second, 50 members or 60 members will have a meeting through the computer network. And then is the participants are required to type the reaction in their respective computers. Next is the individual comments and aggregate voting will be projected on the screen in the meeting room. This is the electronic meeting. We have got the four methods for in the decision making. It's a very good, and for our own project also we can use that. Yeah, lastly, we are done our group presentation. Thank you for watching my video and our group video. Thank you, lovely madam. Next is thank you to our friends. Thank you so much. We are done.